Well, hello, Gundam fans, and welcome to episode 18 of the Gundam Explained podcast. I'm your host, Adam Blue, and today there's a lot of cool things to be talking about. A new entry grade that is not an RX-78 too. Also, some cool things to tie in Gundam with Halo. Also, an update from the director based on the concept art that we just talked about recently. And then a new entry into the Gundam prototypes, thanks to that new UC Engage mobile game coming out. But yeah, let's get into it. So, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't already. There's a giveaway going on. There's a link in the description for it because there's two items I'm giving away. I'm over 500, and when I hit, in terms of subscribers, when I hit 600 subscribers, that's when I'll be doing the giveaway, and I'll do a giveaway video about it. So again, yeah, you could be watching this on YouTube, or you might be listening on Spotify or some other sort of audio program. If there is a certain platform that I haven't uploaded any of this to, whether that's video or audio, let me know. I've heard of this. There was this thing I found recently called Odyssey. It's supposed to be a competitor to YouTube, although you can't really compete with YouTube. But I figured it might be worth uploading to Odyssey. So all my videos are now on Odyssey. Maybe I should share a link to that. But I'm just curious how many out there use Odyssey. I don't know. I just, in any way to get the Gundam discussion further out there to make it a lot more popular among English viewers, that would be cool. But yeah, you know, in terms of Gundam related stuff that I've acquired this week, actually, there hasn't really been anything. In fact, the Halo Infinite multiplayer dropped. It's supposed to be a beta, but it's really what the main game is, and that dropped Monday. And there's something I'll talk about in this podcast a little later that's related to Gundam. I think is awesome. But I've been playing the multiplayer beta of Halo Infinite, and it is excellent. I'm having a lot of fun. It takes what you know of Halo, and it's really refined the gameplay. Through the years, there's been, once 343 got a hold of it, and with Halo 4 and Halo 5, I thought those were fun, the multiplayer, and they added some cool new things. But when it comes to equipment, I really think they nailed it in this one, and the gunplay. Even though it's what we know and love from Halo, there's something about the responsiveness I have not felt in a first-person shooter in a long time, and I didn't know how you could further refine that, but they certainly did. So, you know what? Yeah, I actually did watch the first episode of that Gundam Breaker Batlog. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It's the one where it shows, it's based off of, I guess, some other Gundam shows where you have Gunpla builders that build a Gunpla, they scan it in, and then they battle. It's like a VR thing. And it was actually pretty cool. I gotta say, I liked the designs. I think that's what pulled me in first, because I like how there's a lot of things that have really UC-inspired designs to them, at least from what I've seen so far, and they just kind of add some flair to it. That's just even more mobile suit specifications to get to know, but I wanted to just check out that first episode, and I actually enjoyed it. I haven't had time to really get into the other ones, but I'll need to do that. Something weird that happened this week, I'll get into that in just a second, because if we look at, the latest videos I've had up, so earlier on Monday, I had the Robot Spirit Zaku 2 F2 from 0083, just a classic, but modernized, because of 0083 Stardust Memory had so many great designs of the Zaku 2. Just going over, it's kind of basic, kind of cool, curious what everyone thought about that. But then I really just took a clip from the podcast. I don't know how many people, even though my podcasts get a lot more views, I don't know how many people watch it. I wanted to take the snippet about the concept art, because that's very interesting to me, concept art, because I'm also a Star Wars fan, and I don't know if I talked about this. They released all that Obi-Wan concept art, and I look at that, and they've even shown how a lot of this stuff was just pulled from other concept art, and they just throw it together, which I understand it when you're in film development and you just need to get an idea to what's going on. But for a fan, someone on the outside, when we see it, our first reaction is kind of scrutinize it in a way to be like, okay, is this what it's going to look like? And it's not. But I just thought it would be good to talk about it more, because I am excited. I mean, no negative intentions of that. So I just made that the video. Another reason I just clipped out, which I kind of want to do that more. I hurt my back. I was doing some training to try to get myself into better shape, and I was kind of overdoing it, and it made it hard for me to walk around. I've been wobbling around everywhere, so when a lot of times when I do the filming, and I'll have to do a video on that. I have a pretty neat streamlined setup when I go to film a video where I just turn on some lights, the camera, get everything. But sometimes I'm having to squat down under the table to plug in some stuff. And I was like, you know what? I need to relax. So I'm just going to edit down this clip for the concept art. So I thought it was still worth it, though. A lot of good discussion there. But I don't want, moving forward, I want to be able to have that separate. Usually it's reviewing an anime or a game or something kind of interesting within the week. And I think, once the movie starts getting more news releasing, there's going to be a lot more videos in general. That I'll do just quick videos as soon as new news drops, especially with these games coming out. Yeah, a lot to talk about. And I think that's really it on that side. Yeah, those are the videos I've had up recently. But yeah, let's jump into the news. So, okay, speaking of the concept art, so here is the tweet from Jordan Vaught Roberts. And you know what? I haven't even, and maybe I didn't, I forgot. Just like a Gundam, that's like a name of a character in Gundam, right? The VOGT Roberts. I haven't really seen that before. Don't know really how to pronounce it. But regardless, he wanted to talk more about the concept art, and he used a quote: "The people of Earth do nothing but pollute it. Their souls are weighed down by gravity." So that's, Char Aznable. So it's pretty cool. Again, further emphasis on UC Gundam on part of the director of the Gundam movie. And then he talked about, and then he says Sig Zeon, which is cool because, again, he's speaking more on UC Gundam. I mean, to me, I'm convinced that what we're going to see for the Gundam live action movie is UC Gundam. They've talked about it's an adaptation. And, I mean, we look at this, and this, at the end of the day, looks more like an RX-78-2. But he goes, anyone who knows me knows that concept artists are absolute titans to me. I would switch jobs with them in a heartbeat. Thus, I take great joy in letting the world see the work of the great Steven Zavala at ILM VFX, an absolute wizard surrounded by wizards. So cool that ILM is going to be doing the special effects for this Gundam movie. That is awesome to me. Awesome. And then, yeah, the concept art, I like how excited he is about it. And I can see, though, a director being excited as traction is being made on his film. Just, someone from the outside, when we look at this, it's really hard to, I guess it just clicked in here. Let's see if we make that look. It's really hard to kind of get a real feel for it. And I'll be reading some of the comments left on a previous video from some viewers of this channel talking about the concept art here. And again, I've talked about it enough already, but yeah, I want to know what all this means. It just looks really cool. So anyway, he's worth following on Twitter. Anyway, I tell you, I might as well be following any one of my friends or clones of me. The way he talks about video games, I'm so into video games. The way he's excited about Gundam, it's very cool. So anyway, moving on from that. So that entry grade, this was a cool surprise to me. I would totally pick this up. They're coming out with an entry grade new Gundam. So we've seen some of the entry grades being released recently. Typically, I think it's the Zaku 2 and RX-78 2 mainly. But it's really cool to see this this new Gundam. Now, this was posted on Reddit by Speedball Haro 9, so that's cool. And then here we can kind of see some different takes of it. It's very clean looking. Obviously, whoever built this could be a CG render or just someone's really good at removing nubs, unless the way I can't tell if it's undergated from here, but it could be that it's a very clean and easy process. And yeah, it's very cool to look at this because there really doesn't seem to be a lot of pieces here. It doesn't seem to be a lot of pieces here. This seems like a fun, cool afternoon build, but it seems to have a lot of awesome articulation. and a lot of potential for, like, it sticks to the look of the anime, but it's modernized itself, and I think that has to do with proportions slightly, but also with details like under the knee here, where you could add some silver paint or whatever. And the coolest thing here is seeing like the leg being built, like it almost has that, inner structure going on, and then the outer frame on top of that. Yeah, a lot of pictures here. So I really just think, yeah, and really it comes with everything. I think that entry grade RX-78-2 didn't even come with all the things that Amuro could potentially have on his Gundam, but this looks like a killer entry grade. I will pick this up as soon as I see it. Let's see. I wanted to check something real quick. Yeah, so looking at, okay, so it looks like they're going to be decals, because if we look at like the shoulder, which is probably somewhere around here, could be at an angle. Oh yeah, here. And then the shield, we're not seeing those stickers. So, and I haven't really researched or can't really even read if it's telling us that these are water slides or I mean, because the way it looks on here is just so clean looking. They do a good job of making you want to buy this, but who wouldn't? And considering how cheap these entry grades are, I mean, this would be an excellent price to get in. I'm glad they're doing this. I would love to have this standing next to the real grade. Yeah, that's right. I'm really curious about the size. If we take the RX-78-2 size versus, the new Gundam size, even when it comes to the real grades of each, could this be a little more expensive as a bigger model kit? Even though when you look at the pieces, there's not a lot of pieces, and I think that's really cool. So anyway, really excited to see an entry grade new Gundam. All right, speaking of new Gundam, see what I did there? No, but really, so that UC Engage game, and I talked about it in a previous podcast or two. So there's a lot going on in my mind here. I feel like I can't even have my thoughts together correctly. So we've got this new pilot, really cool. And we've got this Gundam that was part of from what I've been reading, it's part of the GPO program, the prototype program. So one, I think that's cool. Two, it's got a very unique design, almost too modern, but it has enough similarities to the GPOs where I guess it fits in. It has, I forget which Gundam that is, that kind of like the G-Self, I think. Let me type in G-Self. Okay, not entirely what I was thinking. Let me type in, no, maybe that's what I was thinking. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, when we look at this, the V-fin is separated, and it has the Vulcan cannons on each one. I kind of like that. I'm curious as we get more information on the specifications of this, but from what I understand, I think it's potentially called Blossom, which is cool because that's in line with the other prototype names of the Gundams. They are based on flowers. So that is actually pretty cool that it keeps it in universe. It keeps it to make sense, I guess. And it has like this space-based backpack. So if we look at the GPO-1 FB, how it had more of the, I guess, the space thrusters that they added onto it so it could be maneuverable in space. And it looks like they got a little bit of that going on here. Let's see. Yeah, just a really cool design, even though it almost on one hand moves away from Gundam. At the same time, it also does a good job. I was looking at the face for a second there. It's kind of got the wider eyes compared to the sharper chin, although the sharper chin that's reminiscent of the GPO-2. So we can kind of see where the similarities are. I think it's the V-fin that really throws me off, and there's a lot of that G-Self design, which I think the G-Self is a cool design, but it seems to really borrow from that in some aspects. I think the chest, the V-fin. It's a kind of a shock at first when you see it. Also, this reminds me of GPO3. I forget. I did a video on it recently. SEMA's mobile suit, the red one, that Xeon based off the Gundam. How it has kind of that exterior backpack you can plug onto it for space flight. So I kind of like that aspect of it because it's in line with that timeline of development. Yeah, very cool. I really like the look of this. I cannot wait for the model kit or the potential robot spirits I would prefer, but and a female pilot, which is cool. We don't really have a lot of that mainline. We have Christina McKenzie with the Alex, but when we talk about like Zeta, whenever it's the main Gundam, it's usually a male pilot. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but it's just kind of cool because it adds to that difference of it. So, and here's something that looks like it would be from Moon Gundam. So, yeah, something else that's also in that UC Engage. So, is it that this UC Engage mobile game, and this may be something they're going forward with in the future of Gundam games, is like Code Fairy. Code Fairy seems to have its own like anime to it. Like it's almost like you don't have to care about the gameplay, and you could just watch the anime and then go battle. And with this, it seems like for UC Engage, the gameplay is going to be more of kind of that standard like turn-based stuff where you collect Gundam units and fight. But along the way, it might be showing clips because, I mean, it looks like sometimes we're looking at animation here. And there could be more information on this. I just hadn't found it at the time. And maybe it requires some translations. If someone has any information out there, please leave a comment about it. If that is the idea where there will be some animation to it, so it has its storyline that fits in within the Gundam universe at some point. Yeah, I'm really excited. And I just haven't... let's see. I haven't heard anything about UC Engage being released in the US. I wish they would do that soon. I'm really excited to have a good Gundam mobile game. I hate to talk bad about that one that's out right now. That's that Gundam Breaker or something. It's okay. And it runs sluggish. I have a decent phone. I have the Samsung. What is it? Ultra. That's not Ultra. It's the S21 5G, and it doesn't run as good as I would expect. And you know what? Let me switch this, because speaking of video games, Code Fairy, Volume 2 and 3, minor spoilers, so I guess they're showing a new mobile suit. And the new mobile suit in Code Fairy, which Code Fairy is fun, by the way. I haven't even really got back to it because of Halo, and this ties in excellently. So here is what's called the GM Spartan. Now, note that the suits in Halo that Master Chief uses and the other ones use, they're Spartans. That's what they call them. And from what I've talked about before and what's out there on the internet, is a lot of Halo was inspired by Gundam. In the new Halo Infinite, the ring they're on is called the Zeta ring. And it's like, oh, well, Zeta is a word. Anyone can use it. Well, one of the first colors you can unlock in Halo Infinite is called Karaba Sirocco. Okay, so Karaba and Paptimus Sirocco. So, and the color is the color of the DJ unit, which is in Zeta. So, it's just, I don't know if this is just coincidence or it was planned. And I don't see anyone talking about it, but the fact that in the recently released Code Fairy, they have the unit that was used to as inspiration for the design of Master Chief and the Spartans. The Spartan design, which it says right here, Spartan. And Halo Infinite came out this week. Is this a conspiracy? Am I crazy? Is it just two cool things I like and I'm just seeing the consistencies? I don't know. Let me know what you think, because I'm under the impression that it's not a coincidence, and that was definitely planned. Very cool. So that just tells me I am going to have to finish. And actually, it's not even really until the 19th that the new volume for Code Fairy comes out anyway. So, yeah, that's very cool. Very excited about that. All right, let me get to the next thing. So back to New Gundam. So here's a picture of, well, where's that going? Yeah. They're building in Japan, they're building another life-size Gundam, and it's the New Gundam. What's interesting about it, oh, we see the inner frame. What's interesting about it is it has a different color scheme going on with it, more of the classic RX-78-2 color, and they have a different kind of V-fin going on, I guess, to help give it support, and an excuse to have a new model kit for sale. But anyway, someone was just sharing these pics on Reddit, Eviscerus. Yeah, Eviscerus. And yeah, just looks pretty cool. Yeah. All right, and so let's see. Yeah, let's jump into the comments here. So, from Giantess Hannah, this is from the episode 17 podcast. It looks like it's not finished being built, and they're having to use it before it's done. So that is cool, and because if you really think about how that would be kind of a cool little unique addition to the original Mobile Suit Gundam without really changing things. Because we saw when Amuro got into RX-78-2, it was on that development bed. It was finished, but he had to jump into it to fight. So that could be what's going on here, where Zeon or the couple Zakus that got into side 7. Oh man, my sides. They got in, started, looking for if the Federation had some mobile suits, some weapons. They spotted, the gun tank from Project V, started, blowing them up. Amuro jumps into his RX-78-2. I kind of am down with the idea that in this case, it's, an unfinished RX-78-2. I kind of like that idea. I think that's a great idea. And the fire could be the hangar around that it was in that got attacked, and then he's engaging without the all the armor, and we see the beam sabers. So like in the cartoon when he's first fighting them, he's using the Vulcans and the beam sabers. So I think Giantess Hannah, that was a great idea. Thank you for commenting. All right, and then for that subscriber giveaway video where I hit 400 again, I'm almost at 600 where I'll be doing another giveaway, so be sure to check out that video. It's there's a link in the description. It's from Bread, which I like Bread. For me, I think I would love to win any grade of Strike Freedom, since I always watched Seed series since I was a kid, and I was totally in love with the Freedom and Striker Freedom, and not forget about Impulse, since it can change into Core Splendor. It's super cool. So again, I have to dive into Seed one of these days, and I will, and this channel will cover that, and I'll get to know more about the core stuff because I like the fighters. So thanks. And then Bread looks like a combination of RX-79 ground type and RX-78 NT1. Yeah, that's another thing. It has a little bit of those details in there, so it is very interesting. Hey Adam, which UC timeline kit would you like this year? Yeah, I was saying that if I was to get a kit, I like that New Gundam, actually, that we're just looking at, that entry grade, but I really want to get some stuff from, like, Moon Gundam, like the Moon Gundam itself. And then I like everything Advances Zeta, even though I already have 2. I have the main, off the top of my head, can't think of the name, the 121, yeah, RX 121, and then the variant of that's the darker color. FYI, you are on my list. Well, thanks, Robert. Yeah, Robert is always supporting the channel. DP, be better at spoiler content. Now that, Robert, I don't understand, but I know you will put me in my place and let me know. Oh, G-Self from Requiem. Okay, so you get it too. The G-Self, if in that podcast, if I remember correctly, at that time, I was showing that UC Engage Blossom. That's cool. That's cool. What did you have during happy hour? Oh, yeah, that last podcast, I was a bit tipsy. Yeah, I had a few drinks. It was, I hadn't been drinking a lot lately. I kind of stopped. And so it was a special occasion, and we're at a nice restaurant. And so I just asked for the nice stuff. I don't remember the names. I just remember I asked, what was the suggestion? And then I went from there. Yeah. Let's see. Gundam storylines. Okay. What were the background noises at the end? You never know. It could be my wife, kids, grabbing something in the kitchen, coming through the garage door. Who knows? Who knows? The house can get echoey, and I don't really have my area that soundproofed, so it's all right. All right, Santo Bell, episode 17 and 500 subs. Well done, matey. Well done. Thank you. Gundam live action concept. Is it me, or does the granddaddy there seem to have G Savior's head? I'll post a side by side in Discord. Yeah, I looked that up, and I can kind of understand where the kind of the way it's shaped. It looks like it's reminiscent of that in some ways. There's a ton of missing panels and parts, almost no armor on the chest at all. Actually, the more I look at it, it feels like it has the Power GM's chest, the G Savior's head, and V-fin, ZZ sabers, and its own arms, and the new Gundam side skirts. Yeah. You see Gage stares at the poster. I see you, Moon Gundam. Okay, I'm happy. I'll play that game. Yeah, that was, I think, that last shot I was looking at just a few minutes ago when we were looking at that. Zaku 2 Kai FZ is one of the better RE100 kits as well. You can't put a good mono eye down. Yeah. That, if anyone can get a chance, I think one of the best kits to get is that. The Zaku 2 Kai FZ RE100. Even though it's not technically a master grade, it is the master grade scale. And it is a great kit with all the accessories. It's a solid build. It doesn't fall apart on me. Yeah, it's definitely a solid kit. The anime that made me love Mono Eyes. Oh, okay, so that was 0080 War in the Pocket. That was my episode for Best Gundam Show when I did, the first episode. Yeah, it has it has some amazing representations of Zeon units for it being a very much character-driven show. At the beginning, we see a lot of those Aqua units, and then even as we go, a bunch of different cool units. All right, this is Justin Dyer. So again, this is on that video I did for every mobile suit at the Attack in Torrington base, and so I love it when people follow up on that to kind of help give clarity. So this is a good one. So this is from Justin Dyer. Great video. You missed just one suit. There at the end next to the Desert Gelgoog, that is a Gallus J, very similar to the Gallus K you covered earlier in the video. The one recommendation I would make is that you cover a little bit more of the intricacies of the suits going forward, such as how the Zogok gets damaged by the Violent Customs megaparticle cannons, while the Z Zulu, with its newer and heavier armor, does not. Oh, yeah, that's... I did read that before, but now that I'm reading it out loud, I kind of see what you're getting at, and that's a very interesting thing. I understand that the point of the video is to touch on all the suits in a quick fashion, but just the names of the suits in which series they appear and gets repetitive, even within the span of the video. But other than that, the format you're going with for this type of video is really cool, and I'm looking forward to seeing more. Thank you very much. And I do see myself, as I am getting more integrated and ingrained into the mobile suits, the technology. As I'm rewatching, you see that I will really be diving deep more into the technology, especially when it comes to the contrast between different mobile suit types. That's within Zeon or within Federation. I like that idea of how the beam particle cannon affected one mobile suit and not the other. That is the types of things I want to be able to talk about and discuss. So, Justin, I appreciate that comment. Thank you very much. Robert Westfall sniping the first comment place here. Adam, by the way, see my last email I sent you. Also 6 likes. Yeah, you're really good at the likes, Robert. I appreciate that. All right, another one for Robert. Nice, Zaku. Good to go on the 4th. Also need to get all the reference materials for next month's Christmas gift. Names of characters, vehicles, ships, mecha, and technical terms that include armor types, factions, timelines, and series movies. Might be a bit much for one guy to do within a month. So, hell, yeah, it's a lot of work, but you're pretty good at that. And Robert did send me some more of his artwork, and I swear I will put on a live stream soon. I think with the holidays coming up, I'm going to have more free time, and it'd be nice to do like a holiday stream where, yeah, we can chill without messing up the auto copyright system YouTube has. I can maybe somehow have my tablet in one camera in the distance showing Char's counterattack, so we can kind of watch Char's counterattack, look at some artwork, kind of just chill, chat. I think that would be fun. All right, David Grajeda or Grajeda? No, Daniel. I'm sorry, Daniel. Let me know if I pronounced that wrong. Let's see. This is on the Mobile Suit Gundam on Netflix. I'm looking forward to the discussion of the differences between the movies and the 50-episode series. I wanted to watch the original series because of the whole UC storyline, but school plus work aren't being so friendly right now. Yeah, that's the thing with getting into Gundam. There's so much to cover. It's hard with time, but I do want to do that. I want to have kind of and I don't know what format to put this in. It might be where I take the first movie of the trilogy, and then based in that time frame, what are some things that were not covered that were in the show that is good information to know? Because I want to make it informative, not just, oh, well, look, I'm comparing them, but maybe here's some things missing from the movie that's talked about in the series that can give more context for the UC world. So yeah, thanks for that comment. That's a really good suggestion, and I will eventually get to that. Yeah, it's time. 50 episodes. It's a lot. Okay, Chimbalo Animation. I saw fan art that show why it might actually look like with what it might actually look like without the flames in the black silhouette on Instagram. Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. I didn't see it, but I should have done this myself. Going to Photoshop, mess with the contrast, and then taking out. I'd like to see that and get a look. That can kind of help get a better idea of what is the plan. So. All right, on the Minovsky physics video from a while ago, one of my earlier ones, it's funny how scientists found that Moon has abundant helium-3 on it in 1985, so technically the lunar city should be the center stage for all the conflicts in Gundam instead of just a weapons supplier with good industrial capability. So that is a great note there, a great idea, great thought that I've never really thought of. And so what I was trying to say is, that's really, we have this Xeon verse Earth Federation going on, and when we see who's pulling the strings, usually it's a foundation within Earth Federation and Xeon, and sometimes they're agreeing on things. But what if there's an Illuminati style greater presence? Maybe that one that is, unless this is already in UC Gundam, one that's in charge of resource or money, not the food, but the money, because a lot of times food is, from Unicorn to even G-Savior, it's all about food production and distributing food and resources. But what about the banking system itself? I mean, the conspiracy here in our planet Earth in real life is that the banking system is being controlled in a way by a higher group. And so the idea here is being on the moon does seem like a more practical and safer location to have long-term life compared to an asteroid or a colony. So I can see where it's kind of secret that you can live a good lifestyle on the moon. And I could even see some cool Gundam UC drama coming out of, maybe there is some division within Earth Federation of spies that are trying to get to the bottom of something, and they find out it goes to the top. It's this group on the moon that really has hold of all the resources, not just on the moon, but in the moon. I mean, again, another conspiracies about Earth are that at some point in the past, when there were cataclysms occurring on the surface of the Earth, some groups of hominids were able to escape into caves underground, started a new city. That's kind of where we get these myths about Hollow Earth or underground civilizations, but they were able to then evolve without being disrupted in a linear evolution that could lead up to modern day UFOs. That's why they come out of the water. Yeah, I'm getting really conspiratorial here, but I think that could be then used in the Gundam. Maybe that should be my fan fiction. I don't know. I should do something like that. But no, thanks, Leo Chai. That's a really good comment. I like that. Robert again. This on the concept art is like kind of looks interesting, but definitely not a spoiler on materials. Yep. Also, third like. Well, thanks for the like. So, that was a little bit of a shorter episode. I didn't do a Gundam of the week, but I'll be back with that for sure. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't, go ahead and leave a comment, subscribe, like, and check out that giveaway, because look, I'm at 520 subscribers. It's only climbing. And so I'm going to hit 6 soon. And I'll be able to give away, it's that white Zaku G frame. And then based on the comments, the ideas I get, maybe the winner that is randomly picked has an idea for an item they would want to win that is actually not expensive and it's easily orderable online. And so I'll have that sent your way. Or even if you give me some crazy idea, I might be able to find something cool that's similar, because I'd really like to give away some cool stuff and make it fun. And if you haven't joined the Discord, go ahead and post some pictures in Discord of maybe some mobile kits you're building. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk later.